Hello and welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to another 24/7 news report. The headline news today comes from German outlet Bild, and it's that Everton remain one of the sides interested in Stuttgart forward Nick WOLTEMADE. This is one that's really interesting to me because I'd be shocked if he's not at a Champions League, Europa League level club. I think it'd be a fantastic signing. 12 goals, 2 assists in 28 games, but I think that 28 games is a bit misleading, even though considering that is a goal contribution every 2 games. He only played about 1,622 minutes. Not all of his games were actually starts. So it's one of those where if I actually have a look here for everyone and tell you he made 17 starts for Stuttgart this season, and it played 1,622 minutes. That averages out to a goal contribution every 115 minutes. His overall numbers per 90 are ridiculous. Some of the best across Europe, across the board. Big striker. Not the best in the air, if I remember correctly. Again, I've watched a few Stuttgart games, but I can't remember. He's good in the air, but you'd expect someone who's as tall as WOLTEMADE to be better. He's, if I have a look here, a bit shorter than I expected, actually. 6'1". I thought he was like 6'2", 6'3", to be honest with you. But at the same time, so he's decent in the air. Really, really good on the ball. Something I don't think Everton have at all in their strikers. I think one problem we get, and there's one thing I'm hearing about WOLTEMADE specifically, is that he's too slow. I don't think he is. Calvert-Lewin's not fast. Beto's not got blazing pace, but they'll get one-on-one quite consistently. I think the best part of WOLTEMADE is he can bring the other wingers and the attacking midfielder into the game a little bit more. His overall play is much better, and he's not so slow to the point where he won't be able to get in behind. I think he's fantastic with the ball at his feet. One of those who will be able to make space for himself in the box, will still be dangerous off set pieces, and I think he'll be starting for Germany at the 26 World Cup, so I'd be shocked if we're able to get him. There's rumours of Stuttgart being willing to accept a decreased price as well, which I don't know if that's more because they question if this is more than a one-season thing, or if they just need to sell some players to get some players in, which is very much a possibility, and they know that WOLTEMADE's not going to stay, so they're not going to persist with it. But the rumoured price is apparently 20 million euros. I don't think that's true. I think it'll be closer to 30. But I think it'd be a fantastic signing for Everton. This is the type of striker we should be looking for. I still think he's only 22, 23 years old. Yeah, 23. Won't turn 24 until around Christmas time of the season. So yeah, I think it'd be an absolute fantastic signing. It's one that I think should be top of our bucket list because I think he's a fantastic striker. And if it looks like Calvert-Lewin is leaving, I think we should have someone like WOLTEMADE in, and then Beto playing for the games more, where we're going to be sitting back, letting another team have all the ball, like a Man City or something. Even then, again, I think WOLTEMADE could start because I just think he's that good and he's that technically proficient, still big as well, that he's a difference maker in my opinion. So an unreal signing in my opinion. I don't want to waffle on about him too long, but I think this would be an absolutely amazing signing and a signing of intent for the future of the club. The next link comes from Graham Bailey, and it's that Everton hold an interest in AC Milan defender Fikayo Tomori. New AC Milan manager Massimiliano Allegri has told the English centre-back that he is unlikely to be a starter. Spurs, Newcastle, Palace and West Ham are also interested. He's only played 29 games in all competitions this season, which for a centre-back is low, but his numbers still look fantastic. His tackling numbers are through the roof. His progressing numbers are really good as well, which if Moyes maybe wants to turn us into more of, not an attacking team per se, but a team that when they're on the ball in most positions they are dangerous for those counter-attacks, having players across the pitch that can cause problems with the ball at their feet, I can see why you'd want him. Premier League proven was really good for Chelsea and that Frank Lampard year before they sold him, but I just don't see us looking for a centre-back of this calibre unless Branthwaite leaves. I don't see Moyes being willing to sell Tarkowski, and I just don't see Tomori being willing to be a backup for a mid-table Premier League side. I think if he's going to be a backup, he'll want to go probably to a London club back home for him. So it's one of those where I don't see it unless Moyes does decide to replace Tarkowski, but again, that's been his captain. I don't see the likelihood of that, especially when there was rumours coming out that he wants to help build the team around Pickford, Branthwaite and Tarkowski. So very unlikely. Would be a really good signing. I think he's one where he'd definitely be a top Premier League centre-back for us. Also offers that athleticism that we don't really have. He's still only 27. So he's still got a few good years in him, but it's one of those where I don't see it. I see him more than likely going to a team like West Ham or Palace, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think that's more Maybe Spurs if Romero goes, but again, even actually Newcastle's probably perfect destination for him with Fabian Schär being on the later side of 30. Botman's still really good, but I think someone with the athletic ability of Tomori would be really good for a place like Newcastle. Nottingham Forest have no interest in signing Dominic Calvert-Lewin, according to Forest news site NottinghamForest.news. They've said the club have no desire whatsoever to sign Calvert-Lewin and will instead focus on other targets this summer. No surprise, Forest to qualify for Europe, even if it is the Conference League. I just don't think Calvert-Lewin's that calibre of striker. Maybe off the bench I could see it, but yeah, I think Calvert-Lewin's going to have a really difficult time finding himself a top-level club this summer, which is probably not what he expected. I haven't seen the interview with the High Performance podcast, but again, I don't dislike Calvert-Lewin. I have a lot of time for him, but I just don't see the club resigning him. It doesn't look likely, and yeah, I hope the best for him wherever he goes, but the rumours are promising for him when it considers that every club that looks to be interested in him is then changing their mind and deciding no, we're not. But again, all the best for him. I wish the best for him, and I'd like him to stay personally, and I think he's a really good player, but I just don't think there's a way where we can make it work, to be honest with you. I think a lot of my wanting him to stay comes from sentimentality and that he clearly loves Everton and wants to do his best for him, but I just think that the time's gone. The ship sailed, unfortunately, and I just don't think there's a way Calvert-Lewin can be successful at the club, and I hope to be proven wrong, don't get me wrong, but I see him moving to a lot even lower than us, maybe a promoted Premier League side, possibly on a 1-year deal as a prove-it deal, maybe, but I'm not so sure, to be honest with you. Joe Cran from the Sheffield Stars reported that Everton have a bid in the region of £1.5 million for Sheffield Wednesday star youngster Keelan Cole Kadamatari, son of former Everton player Danny Kadamatari. Chelsea and Man City have also bid. He scored 24 times in 23 games for their under-18s. This is an interesting one because Danny himself has said that he'd love for his son to join Everton. He loves the club still. Fans are still very fond of him by the looks of it as well. I think this would be a really good signing. Sheffield Wednesday are in some financial difficulties now, so they are in a position where whatever money they can get, they're going to have to take by the looks of it. So yeah, I like the idea of us looking for young academy lads who could break through to the first team. Hopefully there is more of a pathway now for them to do that. But yeah, I don't see why not. I like the sentimentality of it. I like that Danny wants his son to play for the club, and then hopefully that translates through to Keelan. But at the same time, it's one of those where, are you going to play for Chelsea or Man City? Probably not. They're just going to ship you out on loans. You may get a few games every now and again, but more realistically, they're just going to use you to sell you in the future. I think he's much more likely to play for us in the future, but we'll see where it goes. And the last bit of news comes from Turkish outlet Sporks, and it's that Everton are showing interest in Fenerbahce winger Oğuz Aydın this season. No approach has been made yet, with Ajax and Lazio also interested in the 24-year-old, who got 10 goals and assists in 25 appearances in the Super League this last season. The previous season he also got 13 goals and 8 assists. Looks like a good player. I can't say I know too much about him, so I'm not going to sit here and spew about him to you. But good player, quite young. Looks to be quite direct and quick. Has shown he can get goal contributions. The Turkish league's not the best quality league, but at the same time, I like the idea of the club looking for these gems who we may be able to get on the cheap, who, at the end of the day, we're not playing like 30 million like we did for Tosin. I think it'd be close to half that. And yeah, we'll have to see how this news progresses. I don't know the most about him, so I'm not really going to spew on, as I mentioned. But it looks like it would be a good signing, right age, looks like a decent player on the ball, gets the goals and assists you need, but we'll have to see where things progress from here. But that is all for this video. If you did enjoy, please make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Everton Newsfeed, and follow me on Twitter at CallumBrannum3. And I'll see you all for the next video and or live stream that I am on.